Well, good evening and welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. Deary me, that's been a bit nip and tuck, I have to say, this evening. My son's training didn't finish until 7:30, so that was a bit fun and games. Good evening to Joel and to you, Greg. How are you?
I'm all right. I wasn't supposed to be here tonight, but I couldn't let my public down. So yeah, I'm fine.
Nice, mate.
And
some of the viewing figures dropped by 10. Anyway, that's another story.
But now they've heard I'm back, I'm sure they'll return.
Good evening to John Wilkinson, Graham Parrish, Steve Wilson, Dawn Baker, John Sheridan. They're all flying in. Be sure to comment, as always, in the chat. Round 16 in the bag, gentlemen. Yes, so plenty to talk about this evening, I would say. Lots to talk about.
Yes.
I'm going to kick off with Derek Beaumont. Interesting article in League Express, I thought, this Monday, because he was talking about the Catalan Dragons. Very impressed with the Dragons in terms of the production value prior to the game. But he said some things that I'd never really considered. And I think it's well worth a discussion. I'd like your views on it as well.
Okay.
In terms of the fact that when you go over to France, of course, they don't allow Betfred on the shirts, which of course is the principal sponsor of the sport over here.
Yeah.
Guy not allowed to broadcast in France was another thing that he mentioned. Also, the fact that when Catalan come to Britain, the support is threadbare at best. So he was actually, don't get me wrong, he wasn't saying that he's against Catalan being in Super League, on the contrary to that. However, he was saying that in terms of on the seesaw, what other than a great team on the field is Catalan actually producing for Super League? And I thought it was a really interesting argument. What's your thoughts on that, boys?
These guys are traveling from France every other week.
Every week.
It's expensive. Going for us guys, going to Hull, going to wherever is expensive for us as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit unfair on the Catalan fans. It does beg the question of whether we need to maybe concentrate on developing the French game. After Toulouse last year and a couple of teams coming through in France, developing the French game with Catalan as the kind of the focal point. I think Catalan have added a lot.
Certainly on the field.
I think they have, on the field. They've got some great players. They're a great retirement home for Wigan players. I'll let you think about that. But he's made some valid points. But I think Catalan are quite possibly a fixture that's going to stay in Super League for quite some time, if I'm being perfectly honest about it.
What's your thoughts, Joel?
The fixture of having Catalan now for the amount of years we have had, it's kind of paved the way for certain French players to build their game and open up a new way to Super League as opposed to then being attracted to the NRL. Because otherwise there probably wouldn't be that gateway there. It's a shame that they can't put certain things on the badges because end of the day we are promoting Super League regardless who you are. It's okay Catalan going to a place like Warrington, Leeds, Wigan, where you're going to constantly have big amounts of fans. But like, for example, you come to us where we are, and we already struggle for fans anyway. So for them, it becomes a very dire atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's be fair. Sorry, Dave, to interrupt you there, but let's be fair. It's a great day out in Catalan. It's a great weekend out in Catalan for the visiting fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the advantage is. Anybody who's ever been to Catalan will all say it's an absolutely phenomenal experience.
Absolutely.
That has got to be a positive. It's a shame that they simply can't afford to travel every other week. We saw the Toronto experiment. They played their home games in a block to kind of avoid that.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work for Catalan. You can't get, however many thousand French fans to stay in England for 10, 12 weeks in a block.
No.
It's just...
Won't be fair. No, you're right. Joel mentioned a little bit there Joel mentioned about fans. Credit to the Wigan Warriors fans for boosting the Salford attendance. 7,854 at the AJ Bell on Sunday. That was good to see.
Yeah, it was. And I think all the record crowds this season have all involved Wigan.
Yeah.
So that says a lot for their fans. It says a lot. It says a lot for the draw of Wigan.
Yeah, in terms of travelling support, absolutely. Yeah.
So fair play. Every record home crowd this season has involved Wigan. So
Wigan.
Fair play.
Can't argue with that, mate. Can't argue with that. Right. Let's keep on the joy and the merriment. Congratulations, of course, to ourselves on over 187 new members joining the form. I think we're about 8 short of 4,500 now. Maybe by the end of the show tonight, that will have happened. But thank you to everybody who has took the time to join the Facebook page. Very appreciative. Go over to YouTube and join that as well. There's a massive disparity between YouTube and Facebook at the moment. We could do our loyal supporters getting onto YouTube and subscribing on there, and of course that's where all the videos are stored. So rather than having to filter through on Facebook, all the videos, all the Super League Royal Weekly, all in the sheds, all game of the weeks, all on there. So great thing for you to go and subscribe to as well. Please. Right, gentlemen. Big day for Wigan, massive day for Wigan. They've got the checkbook out. Jackie Chan, Cruz Leeming and Sam Walters all signed on the dotted line, and big rumours as well that they're looking at Adam Kieran of the Catalan Dragons also. This is quite a frightening prospect. Clearly youth is a big draw here, especially with Chan and with Walters. Without doubt, I would say this strengthens them for 2024, would you say?
Quite scary if you're a fan of another Super League team.
Yeah.
I think quite possibly Walters is the best long-term signing there. I think he's got a great future.
He was outstanding against a certain team from Huddersfield, I think.
You've got to forgive me tonight, mate. My hay fever is absolutely awful. But I think Jackie Chan, he has to cast, these signings have to cast out over Cust and Evans. I think they're recruiting well. I really do. And when you think that Gudemond has signed for Leeds, you've got to think about where does that leave Catalan for next year?
Well, Satai's going from Hull, so they've got him as a direct replacement.
There's possibly 4 players leaving Catalan there. They'll
bring in, one thing we've learned this season about McNamara, he's very astute. I mean,
let's hope he is, because, we've talked about Catalan. A strong Catalan I think he's good, as we've said.
Absolutely.
Well, and it goes to show that a gradual movement of players out and a gradual movement of players in is better than a wholesale changing of the guard. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned.
You'd have any of them at Huddersfield, wouldn't you, Joe?
Yeah. Well, check it out.
To be honest, I'd have any of them at Warrington.
Absolutely. Go on, Joe.
No, as I said, I'll take you two. That I'll take out at the moment, to be honest with you.
But well, apparently I had a phone call when I was out today.
Well, I'd say what's another scary thought, Joel. Ethan Havard signs I think until 2027. With Matt Pete saying that they're going to build a squad around Ethan Havard, such as his calling card there at Wigan. So what's your thoughts on Wigan for 2024? It's strengthened, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massively strengthened. I think them signings like Walters, I think like Greg said, it's probably the biggest signing long term, because he was really impressive. He was really impressive. Chan's a great player, and so is Kieran. But my only concern for him is over Leeming. Because if he doesn't get his own way, he spits his dummy out quite often, and he's not bothered who he upsets doing so.
And the other question with that, Joel, is who will he take the place of? Will it be O'Neill or will it be Powell?
Well, exactly.
Unless he put Powell at loose forward,
I think they've got too much strength in the back row to put Powell at loose forward. I would have thought, mate, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know. It depends who's going to move out. None of this. There's some Wigan players who aren't getting any younger.
Thing is, you're not going to put him in anywhere other than 9.
Yeah.
Well, O'Neill was man of the match at Salford.
O'Neill was superb at Salford.
He was, yeah. I mean,
he was absolutely superb.
Yeah, So it's an interesting one. I mean, one to watch there. In terms of Leeds, O'Connor, he signed up till 2026.
Yeah.
So that's good news for Leeds. Gudemond, obviously, you just mentioned, he's on his way to Leeds. I saw Rowan Smith's press conference this afternoon, pouring water on the rumours that Tyrone Roberts is on his way there. Can't see that. He poured water on that. But also he let loose a little bit in the fact that at the moment there's a big difference between them and Blake Austin. Austin pricing himself out at remaining at Leeds. The door is very much ajar, Smith was saying, but it would appear at the moment there's a big gap between Austin and Leeds.
Yeah, where would he go? Blake Austin, when he's on form, is unplayable, but he's not on form enough. As we found out, as I think, at the weekend, he was on fire. He was head and shoulders the best player on the park, as far as I was concerned at the weekend.
He was sensational, yeah. Against a team from Huddersfield.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joel. Yeah,
I think the first team play earlier in the afternoon. I think 1-30-0 the first team. The reserves were shocking though on Sky, absolutely shocking.
That's nasty, that Dave. That's nasty.
We'll get to that.
Talk about kicking a puppy, mate. That's wrong.
Just a quick one.
I've never had as many texts in my life that night. Believe me.
Sorry. I know when we invited you on, Joe, we weren't aware that your team was going to be so shocking. Graham Gosling.
I tell you what, mate, our team wasn't much better.
No, it wasn't. No, you're right. He'll get his own back when we come on. Well, Graham Gosling here. We'll just quickly jump over to this one actually, because this is another good conversation to be having on about the Hull KR for their semi-final match against Wigan at Headingley. And they've already sold 6,000 tickets for the semi. Both of the semis, of course, one being held at Headingley, the other at the Halliwell Jones. And I think the interesting thing for me here is that I think the atmosphere will be better in the semi-finals than perhaps the final. And I think that, as the time come that we move the Challenge Cup final from Wembley, I think for me, talking personally, as a child, the Twin Towers, all of that, Wembley had an aura around it back then. There was some, but since they've changed to new Wembley, you know what, whether they played at Wembley or whether they play at a 50,000 seater stadium up north somewhere, doesn't really matter to me. And I think it would pull in a better crowd. Well, it would fill the stadium, but more importantly, the atmosphere will be better in the stadium if we weren't playing at Wembley. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Wembley's so vast of a stadium, you've got to fill it to make best use of its acoustics and its sound and everything. But we're not doing ourselves a favour there. And then when the cameras are panning, you're seeing thousands of empty seats. So that's no good. Whereas...
And the thing with Wembley is you've got 60, 70,000 people there, but the top tier is still closed. And it's you're right, 60,000 people, 50,000 people filling a stadium. The atmosphere, it's Wembley's more of a romantic notion these days. We need to be sensible and we need to maximise profits, and we need to, look at your stadium at Huddersfield. How great would it be to see that full for a Challenge Cup final? Why not move it around?
Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
That's
it's one that I think they've got. IMG's got to look at.
Yeah, St James's Park, Huddersfield, Villa Park. There's lots of stadiums that are 50, 60,000 capacity.
Etihad.
Yeah. We don't tolerate language like that on here, Joel. The Etihad, Anfield.
Well, Everton's new ground, of course.
Exactly.
That's on its way as well, isn't it? The Everton ground. So
and people say us Northerners love our day out in the smoke. Well, get over yourself. Do you know what? We'd rather see a well-promoted game with every seat sold than have our day out in the sun, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. And it's, I probably one of a lone voice, but I think we need to move it away from Wembley now.
I agree. Joel, are you in agreement?
Absolutely, yeah. The thing is, I know we need to grow the sport, but the thing is, it's still the M62 corridor, so let's bring it up the M62 and fill it.
And fill
exactly.
It. And I mean, obviously, the razzmatazz, back in the day, and it's still the case at a Challenge Cup final. You see shirts from Championship clubs and the rest of the Super League who aren't even playing. But I think that the travelling numbers of non-final contesting teams have reduced over the years. And by having it in the Heartlands, I think it would encourage people from other teams to go and, like it used to be, almost like a Magic, albeit, of course, it's a Challenge Cup final. I think it could get there.
I mean, this year we've got the women's final for the first time, which is brilliant. We've got the men's final, and we've got the 1895 final, which is great. But that 1895 final, there's going to be hardly anybody in there.
No, exactly. Well, speaking of the women's game, I found it very interesting that, and this is quite a contentious thing to say, but where the women's game's going, especially in Australia, I thought the two women's state of origin games outshone them this year.
Mate, that women's state of origin was one of the best games of rugby league I've seen.
It was phenomenal. Yeah,
phenomenal.
Did you catch it?
Unbelievable.
Did you catch it, Joe?
No, I only got the first half.
Well worth a watch, mate.
Oh, it's an absolutely phenomenal game.
But I believe there was a couple of the New Zealand players in there, weren't there? In the World Cup, they really impressed me, did them. So I've actually got it recorded for that because I want to watch it.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it, mate.
No,
really,
honestly,
really good.
It is genuinely one of the best games of rugby league I've ever seen. Genuinely,
absolutely. No,
it was superb. A great game.
It was quality. There's no doubt about that. Right, let's move on at a pace, gentlemen. We've got plenty to get through this evening, as I'm sure you are aware. So I believe he's actually with us as well. Ryan Birch continues to lead the Super League Royal Fans Forum Fantasy League, and he actually had the highest score on the week. I mean, he's just showing off now, quite frankly. He must be getting quite excited as the season is going along. He's our Ryan, which is fantastic. So what we're going to do now, as we always do, we're just going to catch our breath for a minute. We're going to have a look at the top tries of round number 16 for your viewing pleasure. Here they come.
Seize the day.
Very entertaining tries there, gentlemen. We were going to do a montage of the Huddersfield Giants tries, but couldn't find any of those. So we'll just
stop
leave
it.
That on there.
Stop it.
I've just got back from Headingley waiting for them to score. They finally scored 2 weeks later.
You're a nasty man, David. You're a nasty man.
I know. But anyway, of the tries that we've just seen, I'm going to put it out there. I'm sorry, Joe, but Corey Johnson's offload for Walters. Yeah. What a thing of beauty that was, wasn't it? That's a cracking try.
At that point, I applauded that. I thought, well done. I applauded that try.
Yeah, quality, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really, really good. Oh, hey up, Steph Sale is with us. I don't know if he's still in France or if he's just landed back. Good evening, Steph. Hope you're well, mate. He fully enjoyed his trip over to Perpignan.
I thought Reece Martins was a great try as well.
Yeah, a couple of them this week.
To me, I thought Connor Wrench. I know I'm probably.
Beauty.
I thought Connor Wrench's try was a superb finish. But for me, Jake Truman has got to be the try of the week just for its comedy value.
Oh, it was quality, mate.
It was
Quality.
just
And I'll tell you,
comedy
we put the Ipape one in there more for Charnley than Ipape. I mean, Ipape put the burners on, but Charnley, what a run that was from Josh Charnley just prior to Ipape's try.
Yeah. There's some. There was, I mean, Arthur Morg. I mean, he sliced through that defence like they weren't there. You know, these guys have got some speed.
Mate, we're being treated this year. There's been some exceptional tries. Joel, what was your pick of that lot?
It's the least spectacular one, but it was the Chewy try, Jake Truman. Because what I liked about that was how you kind of expect Saints to kind of like just hold on to that and like put it free, but they had that mind of thinking, no, there could be a potential here, and then they held back, and it were really good. That
it was a committee performance. We'll be taking a look at that in a second. Steph Bowler County is in Heathrow, watching live from Heathrow. Good lad, Steph. Well done. Well done. Great.
Get it on the big screen. Get it on the big screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What all those people that are reading Vogue magazine, show them what they're missing, Steph. Show them what they're missing. Outstanding stuff. Right.
Other magazines are available, of course.
Other magazine shows, of course, are available. We're going to have to show the highlights, of course, in a moment. But before we do, let's have a quick look at the top four. We're going to have to go through this at a bit of a pace. Loads to get through, as always, on a Tuesday night.
Yes, we have.
So here come the top performers of round number 16. Again, for your viewing pleasure. Here they come. From round number 16, some tremendous performances in there, some familiar faces as well. So the first game, of course, we're going to take a look at is that game between Hull and Saint Helens. Gentlemen, this was a cracking game of rugby league. It really was. Hull bang at it. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. And some really good tries. And this, talk about Truman, McIntosh for both Truman and this one for Clifford. McIntosh, superb.
Yeah. A totally unexpected result as well. I think probably a couple of people on the forum did say that Hull were going to win.
Yeah.
But I thought Saints were going to back up because Hull haven't been brilliant.
Well, we said though, didn't we, when we were doing predictions, mate? When we were doing predictions, I said to you, how often does it go one way in the cup and then it swings the other way and there's back-to-backs? And nobody could have predicted that first half.
No, I just didn't think. I thought Saints would have carried on where they'd left off.
Yeah.
But, what they were.
But actually, Hull were great as well.
See, the thing is, people said that Saints were poor. I think Hull were just that good.
I agree.
They stopped them from playing.
That is magnificent.
They restricted any sort of meterage. And that performance there, I said to you, didn't I, Dave, that performance there was like it was back in the early 2000s when Hull was always in the top three.
Yeah. It's the Tony Smith effect. It was always going to take time, but Smith's a great coach. And, the dark days of that Hull derby where they got tonked by KR, let's be absolutely fair, that's a long way. That's a long time ago now. It's starting to look more and more like a Tony Smith side, this.
I'd be interested to hear what our Hull friends say, but I think that's Hull's best performance for quite a while.
Yeah.
They were. I mean, Saints were shell shocked. I mean, Clifford was magnificent.
Well, I'll tell you what was interesting. It was at full time. I think Welland's position at Saints, he's well wide of the mark. I'm not even going there. But I have to say, for the first time this season, I think Welland's got it big time wrong. Roby on the bench, he's not an impact player. He's an organiser. He needed to be on. And what does this say for Joey Lusic? Joey Lusic, 18th man with the greatest loose forward in Super League playing at hooker. So what does that say about the greatest loose forward in Super League? I don't know. Over to you, gents. I mean, it was mad. I did not get the Morgan Knowles to hooker. Didn't see it.
You don't have the greatest player to ever pull a rugby league shirt on at hooker when he's the best loose forward that's ever played the game, do you? And then leave genuinely one of the best players to ever wear a number 9 jersey in the game on the bench.
On the bench. I felt for Joey Lusic.
Well, he may have still been carrying an injury, mate, but you know, it was beyond me. I mean, Savalio got man of the match. Savalio had a great game, but I still think Clifford was my man of the match. He was awesome.
Clifford was. I like it when, you know, back rows and forwards, as do you, get the credit. I thought first half Savelio was out of this world.
Yeah, so do I. We've always said this. This is our argument. Man of Steel should be somebody who shows that steel. But yes, Savelio got the Sky man of the match, but I just thought Clifford was head and shoulders above everybody else on that pitch. I really did.
He was good. He was good. Pleased that Bell as well was the only try scorer for Saints. I like Bell. This was a great try. You know, just rewinding to this one, the Cam Scott try, really nice little grubber kick through. We've seen Clifford do that quite a few times this season. Brilliant execution on the left-hand side. Hull back, Joe? A Hull in contention, do you think, for playoffs? Could they muster a late charge?
If they play like that, yeah, absolutely. And I think what the game changer here was for Hull was Clifford was involved with pretty much everything. And as rightly so he should be. You need someone to take control of the game and make things happen. It was nice to see McIntosh get some quality playing time. I thought he's been a bit quiet for my liking, but he really played well. Savelio, he did do well, and I think he's a really good player, and he did play well, but for me, I'm with you there on that, Greg. Clifford was the man. He
was head and shoulders the best player on that pitch.
Yeah.
You know, me and Dave, we always say, it's easy to give a fullback, a halfback, the man of the match. But for me, Clifford was magnificent, absolutely magnificent.
He was indeed.
I think I've not seen Hull that much. From what I've seen, that was his best game for Hull. I'm sure our Hull friends will tell me I'm wrong, but for me, that was his best performance in a Hull shirt.
If they back that up this week, and they put in another good performance, you know, people are going to start talking.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just want to go into the chat. Graham Gosling, don't give Clifford any praise, please. We don't want the NRL to take him back. Tracy Wilson, good evening to Tracy and to Steve. Best game in years for Hull, Steve Wilson says. Look like a team with passion, Tracy says. Kevin Ogden, here's one for you. Kevin Ogden says that he believes that James Bell is a better 13 than Knowles, in his honest opinion.
I think most people do.
Yeah, I agree.
It's only Sky that are bigging Morgan Knowles up.
Yeah.
Well, John Wilkin is, and John Wilkin has seen the light and has come out and said that Bell is a better number 13 than Knowles. Morgan Knowles would make a very, very decent second row. He's not a loose forward.
I thought you were going to say cheesecake for a minute. Anyway, let's get into the Albert Goldthorpe medal.
He might well do. I don't know.
I thought you were auditioning for the Great British Bake Off for a minute.
Maybe he could be on there next year.
The Albert Goldthorpe medal, agreed with you two. Clifford with 3 points. Savelio got 2, and Darnell. I'm really pleased for McIntosh.
Obviously, had a great game.
The 2 assists were top draw. Right, we now go to the next game, and the next game just happens to be this little beauty.
Oh, do we have to?
We do. I watched this one in its entirety, so I'll kick off. Liam Watts and George Griffin in this were outstanding, both doing about 60 minutes apiece. They were absolutely incredible, really proper solid shifts from them. Widdop turned up without any doubt. But the mad thing about this game, very similar to the Wigan game, Warrington first half was shocking. It was worse than Wigan. Too many errors with ball in hand, great positional play, just knocking on and getting giddy as they do. And in defence, quite frankly, the penalty count was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And then in the second half, they come out, and lo and behold, it's 14 apiece. They played really well in the second half. They started to get the groove on a bit. The defence tightened up.
Look at that for defence. That's just.
And then Gareth Widdop pops over a 45-metre drop goal. And again, composure for Warrington, just lacked composure throughout the game. It is a concern. What was interesting was when Ratchford went.
Look at that though. Pause that there. Go back to that kick.
Go on.
Go back to the kick. Look at this. Look at the Warrington players.
Yeah,
they're just wandering around. Nobody's talking. Nobody's saying anything. They're wandering.
Last bit from me, mate. Last bit from me, and then over to you guys. And this would be interesting for Leeds at the weekend, when Ratchford went off with his HIA, which he passed, but he didn't come back on. Duffy went to stand off. Fulis dropped to full back. Russell went on the wing. Was interesting. Riley Dean, how he cannot be recalled, I don't know. I think for me, I'm sorry, but that would suggest that Riley Dean has not got a long-term future at Warrington. That is what it suggests to me. You know, if that's a Wigan, if that's a Saints, they're bringing him back. You know, the reason why they've got the likes of Dodd and Smith is that, you know, we've seen Smith. Smith's had a roller coaster for Wigan, but Pete has backed him every step of the way. This was an opportunity for Darryl Powell to perhaps give Riley Dean a couple of games, and he's choosing not to for whatever reason. Well played to Castleford, arguably the best I've seen them this season. I think they were really, really solid in this game. That's me done. Reggie, over to you.
What can you say? I just don't know what to say. I really don't. Fair play to Castleford. Our defence is absolutely shocking. Yes, we lost Williams, and then we lost Rashford. We are a team, if rumours are to believe, that are the richest club in Super League, and we haven't got the reserves that come in and can fill the places of the people in the first team. We send players out on loan, as you rightly say, to the Super League rivals, and then when we lose a major player, we don't bring them back. I just don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. This is a fantastic try.
Yeah, it's a great try. That's his third since coming back.
Yeah, I mean, Conor Edge played that well. I'm not surprised, you know, Darryl Powell's offering him out on loan to Featherstone or somebody. But
that's Milliken. You should be getting the flags out. Milliken's off to Featherstone by all accounts.
I'll drive him there myself. Let's watch this drop goal. At what point does it touch the floor?
It's a beauty though, mate.
No, it never touches the floor. It's clean off his boot. It never touches the floor, that drop goal. But we can't argue. Our heads went down. We got back. We played well. Our heads went down. That's not a team that's going to win Super League, I'm afraid. Now, no matter how much we invest in it, no matter how many Aussie stars we bring over, that is a team that is not going to win Super League.
Well, 8 from 8 becomes 3 from 8 in the second 8 games, second half of the season, which is interesting. Joel, what's your assessment from the outside looking at Warrington, mate?
So I saw this game, and the reports from Ratchford was it was precautionary why they kept him off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thing is, though, for me, if you've passed your HIA, when you're so out of position like you have been, and I think this was your most out of position team you've had all season so far. I might be wrong.
Well, Joel, we've had a few, mate. We've had a few, but this was...
No, like you'd be bringing your Ratchford back on, wouldn't you?
To be fair, Joel, he couldn't. HIA says that he have to stay off for 15 minutes, and it was in the last 15, so he couldn't have come back anyway.
Right, fair enough then. But you know,
but look at this. Look at this, though. Sorry to interrupt you, Joel, but look at the players wandering around while he's taking a kick. Let's regroup and talk to each other.
Yeah, I think they've just mentally been beaten before they've even started, haven't they? Really?
I fear for them on Thursday.
What didn't
fear for them?
What hasn't helped is Cass all season have looked very unstructured. They don't look. They've just been ambling around, hoping for the best, but they actually look like they had a bit of structure in this game. So they played some good football, and they knew how to play against you. And then obviously, you know, I think just having so many players out of position. But you look at yourselves back at the start of the season when you had everybody there. I know you had players like McKaylee and so on, but you had everyone in their positions and they were playing so well. My thing for you guys is, and this is what I don't understand, is at the start of the year you had a very big depth of the squad. You sent a few players out, and now you haven't got as much depth now.
No, we've got players on loan at Salford. We've got players on loan at Castleford.
Right, exactly.
If whether you fell out with a coach or not,
Call them.
recall them from loan. You know, a coach has to be man enough to get over those little petty squabbles and do what's best for the team, not what's best for him, but do what's best for the team. And if you've got a halfback that's out on loan against the team you're playing, you bring it when your star halfback is injured. No matter what, you bring him back and you play him. As far as I'm concerned, you don't get Saints or Wigan or Leeds or any other team doing that.
You had Matauti in the house, didn't you?
Yeah,
And Ratchford, yeah. Matauti and Ratchford, yeah, in the house, Minnikin and Wrenching in centre, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, really, does it?
No, it doesn't. And like I say, I think Warrington need to reinforce and quickly. In terms of the Albert Goldthorpe, Widdop 3, Westerman 2, Miller 1. And of course, you know, for those who didn't see the game, after 5 minutes, Harrison does the hip drop, which is 2 games for Harrison. Massey went off and didn't return. So actually, they had 3, you know, they were down to 3 interchange for 75 minutes, Castleford as well.
just watch this. At no point does that touch the floor. It's incredible.
Anyway, it is what it is. I think Warrington have got big problems. The next 3, Leeds, Saints, and Wigan.
Well,
Warrington
I'm afraid
could be at the bottom end of the top 6
at this moment in time, I don't see Warrington winning any of those games.
Well, they'll have
I
to
really
wait
don't.
and see. It was a poor game. Again, Vaughan doing well over 140 metres for Paul Vaughan. He threw himself about. Worryingly for Warrington, Dudson only 15 metres. Sam Cassiano under 70.
Yeah.
That's going to be a concern as well.
Dudson, bottom of the tackle count, bottom of metres gained.
Yeah. Well done to Cass, though. I mean, that considering the Wakey performance the week before, you know, just puts them 6 points again ahead.
Look at that again, though. Look at that. Just milling around.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
It's you know what it is? It's unprofessional to be milling around like that when a kick's being taken is unprofessional.
Completely agree, my friend. Right, we now go to this cheeky little nugget. Hull KR, of course, took on Wakefield Trinity. Ron Milnes obviously has come back the last 2 weeks, both in the Challenge Cup and in this one. Mills was in great form. Absolutely.
He had a great game.
Hinted forward about that one. Opachik as well, playing out of his skin in the central positions. Hull KR still outside the top 6, albeit on points difference, but that's a lovely that from Milnes over the top.
Yeah.
But can Milnes deputise for Abdul? I mean, Abdul's been outstanding. I'll come to you first, Joel, on this one. Milnes, can he get them into the top 6 by the end of the season, do you think?
Yeah, of course, why not? You look at this game out, it was just, I just liked everything. Everything was set up really well. The kick chase in this game was good. There was just intent and purpose on every play they had. I was just very impressed, and that's nothing to do with playing Wakey. They were just good. It didn't matter who they were playing that day. I think they were just going to play that well.
Right, I'm sorry, Joel. I'm going to pause this because I know that Greg is a big fan of. In fact, he is the fan club of Mr. Chris Kendall. Right, when I saw this, and again, interesting for those who like seeing as much rugby league as possible. Hull KR put out extended highlights of their games, which is really kind of them. I watched the extended highlights of this game, and when I saw this challenge, my initial reaction was, "What a beauty! What a beauty. A beautiful tackle out of the very, very top draw."
Yeah.
And he gets 10 minutes. I mean, this is scandalous. I mean, luckily for once, the disciplinary committee threw it out. But Kendall, what you're playing at? It's the contact score. Hang on. What's going on? I've built it up and I've gone to Leeds. Oh, mate, what's going on? It's all gone, Pete. Well, let's get it back. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we'll get it back.
Let's watch the Leeds Huddersfield game.
No, we don't want to watch that one yet. No, here we go. We're back. Here we go. So it's after this. So once we've got through this try, ladies and gentlemen, once it's gone through this try, it's well worth a watch. I mean, if this is where rugby league is going, I mean, all well and good that the disciplinary panic, but on which planet does a referee give a player 10 for this? Help me.
Right, so I watched this back about a million times just to try and see where there was a yellow card in that. There wasn't. There was hardly any shoulder in that. If that's the case, then
There's no
just stop
shoulder.
tackling.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is
The reason why he went down like a sack of suds is because he just hit him that hard. And he could see that he tried to put his arms around him. There was absolutely nothing in that.
Well, Kendall says
No.
it's a headshot. He's nowhere near his head.
nowhere near his head. That is a magnificent tackle.
And if that's where the game's going, thank God Adrian Morley and the likes have retired, because they've got to be. Forget 12 games, they'd be sitting out for seasons.
As Richard Silverwood has said, and I'm no fan of Richard Silverwood either.
Yeah.
Silverwood has said, if that's a yellow card, the game is dead. And once again, and you see it on social media, all the fans, all they were talking about at the end of the game was Chris Kendall.
Well, he sent Fafita for back chat, didn't he?
Yeah, but Chris Fafita doesn't get a ban. Whereas last week, back chat to Chris Kendall was a 6-game ban. So where's the consistency?
Maybe the disciplinary panel was a bit embarrassing for Mr. Kendall, I don't know. But here's an interesting one. Graham Gosling is saying the next time that Kendall's appointed for a Hull game, they're going to close the Humber Bridge.
Well, I'll be the first one to drive my car there, mate. I tell you.
You know when IMG take over completely.
Sorry, Joel.
When IMG take over completely, who is going to have the say over rulings? Will they have a say in all that?
No. They're solely on the marketing side, mate.
Inside. Because to be honest with you, that needs looking at because I think there's some areas where we've gone a bit too soft.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's something I said right at the beginning of the season. The difference between rugby union and rugby league is in union, referees apply the law. In league, they interpret the law. And there's a massive difference. You have to apply the law. It's not up to you to interpret it, referee.
Yeah.
You have to apply it. That is
beautiful. Beautiful tackle, that. In fact, I'm not being funny, right? But sometimes the likes of Roby have just got to put a shirt on to get 3 points. That tackle was worthy of a Man of Steel 3 points. Yeah. Right. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I'll tell you, the game's dead, mate. If we can't see collisions like that, the game's dead.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Beautiful stuff.
I do fear for the future of the game if that's a yellow card. I really do.
The Albert Goldthorpe gentlemen, 3 for Milnes. No surprise there. He had a fine game. 2 for Jez Litton and 1 for Renafatoni of Wakefield Trinity. And before we move on to the next game, I think it's only appropriate to say, well, not that he'd have done any different, but well done to Will KR for giving Lachlan Coote a guard of honour. We wish him well in his retirement. A brilliant pro. Possibly one of the best imports from Australia we've had in the comp over the last 10 years. Lachlan Coote, I'd say. He's been tidy. Especially
he's been solid. He's been solid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's set the world on fire, but he's been solid. He's been better than a lot of players. So
he's like a Dennis Irwin, mate. He's a 7 or 8. You don't spot him. You don't take the headlines. You don't hear him.
He's a consistent 8 out of 10 rather than a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Right, Joel, if you want to go and charge your glass, now might be the good time to do it. As we now go,
we've already done this.
Have we? Yeah. No, we're not.
Have we? Oh no, we're not. Sorry. I'm getting carried
away.
Getting
far carried away. I won't mind. For the first 10 minutes, it was an arm wrestle. It was for the first 10 minutes or so. But Joel, I mean, it's your team. Over to you.
Talk us through, Joel.
How long have we actually got? I'm really struggling. Well, let's go towards the end of the game first, right?
Should we just skip through?
Let's go backwards. Interview after the game, right? Let's look at the slight positive, if there's anything. He actually had an interview with passion and heart. You could see he was genuinely gutted. If we don't see a response, and I don't mean a win, just a response next week or this week, then he's lost the dressing room. Then I'm very concerned. I still don't think he should be out. I just think that things need to change. Something isn't right, and he alluded to it. The problem is, under normal circumstances, I'd have been at that game. I just finished work far too late, so I couldn't go, but I made it back just in time to watch it on TV. Under normal circumstances, myself and all the other 4 fans that Huddersfield have pay good money to go watch your team play. It's not just paying the ticket. You're going to pay your fuel. You put a lot of time and effort into going watching your teams. And if they're putting in, that's not even a performance. I'm not going to call it that. If they turn up and play like that, it's disrespectful to the loyal fans. The loyal band of fans that we have, we all say that if you cut us open, we'd bleed claret and gold. But these players need to realise that they're getting paid a good whack to come and, work. It's not, whether you're playing for your badge or not, you're getting paid to play. And honestly, I don't know if Mark's in the chat. He'll confirm this, I'm sure. The reserves team was far better than we're ever playing at the moment, and I would have much rather to have seen that play. We've got, I believe, not young, 28-year-old rugby union player who's now coming to league recently-ish, Hugh Worthington, on a trial, I believe. It'd be great to see him play a bit more. Jake Connor, I understand that, just these, what Ian Watson called ticking a few boxes. But look, we need players out there. Something's not right.
Yeah. And do you know, even if Jake Connor doesn't tick every box, you play him.
You do. Because
you consider it was
Ian's paid big money for it.
And Masters were in the reserves, weren't they? Three, well, certainly two of those. Watson's big signings coming into the season. Both sitting out. Just want to bring in a few on the chat if I can, gents, and then we'll carry on with you, Reggie. Dawn Baker, she said she liked the fact that, Matty Pete said Watson's trial by media is shocking. Alex Sharp, he thought the Ash Golding interview on the BBC was madness, saying it's not that Huddersfield are playing bad. Other teams have upped their game against them, which is again crazy coming out the dressing room from me. All over the place defending. It was awful, says Tom Jessup. Ryan Bircher went and was such a painful game to watch and ultimately was embarrassing as I took a friend to watch for the first time. They're the type of comments that they've got. What I would say in closing, Watson, before I come to you, Reggie, one last thing from you, Joel. Watson, after the game in his press conference, said that he's convinced that he will win a comp at the Huddersfield Giants, which after a performance like this seemed lunacy to say. As a Huddersfield fan hearing that, how did you take it?
I don't know if I'm going to be honest. I had to process that a bit because I watched that over and over again. I like the fact that he wants to do that, but I'll tell you now, it's not happening with these players.
No,
it's not. No. But he did say there's only one thing about it that he was very open and honest about. Was he said some people have got too comfortable with me.
I was impressed with his passion, and a couple of people in that was a very honest and frank press conference. And after on Sky, straight after the game, he was very honest and frank. Reg, you don't often agree with Gary Schofield, but Schofield's come out and said pathetic, gutless, and absolutely disgraceful. I said on In the Shed, didn't deserve to wear the shirt. What's your view?
No, I don't want. You know where I stand with Huddersfield. I've got family in Huddersfield. I've got a lot of time for Huddersfield and the fans and the respect they showed to Warrington when we won the Shield a few years ago. Yeah. Those fans don't deserve that team.
No.
But what I thought was absolutely disgraceful was before the game, Sky talking about Justin Holbrook and that he could be lined up for Huddersfield, Warrington.
Yeah.
That is bang out of order.
Yeah, and credit to Huddersfield coming straight out at half-time and clearly Huddersfield asked them to retract that. Warrington didn't.
But they have since said that Justin Holbrook won't be coming over to Warrington.
Yeah.
which
I think Holbrook will take the rest of the season off. If you watch his, read the articles and the interviews he's given, he's absolutely distraught. Did he deserve to lose his job? Absolutely not. What he's done at the Gold Coast Titans in the last 2.5 years has been remarkable. I think that was just I think what they've done, I believe there was a clause in the contract that said that if he's outside the top 8, they can sack him at any time. And I think, he's only just outside the top 8. And I think they took an opportunity because they clearly wanted a change for next year. And it was a quick and easy way of doing it.
Yeah. But I thought Sky were absolutely, I thought it was, I don't know what the word is, disrespectful to Leeds, to Warrington, to Huddersfield, to even suggest that before the game. And Justin Holbrook may well be at Leeds, may well be at Huddersfield, may well be at Warrington next season. But no, let's have a bit of class about ourselves, please, people.
Well, Matt Pete said we're not football. We don't do that type of thing, and I actually agree with Matt Pete on that. Although I would say that that's another club. Wigan, I was disappointed with the way Wigan handled the Adrian Lam affair back in the day. So, I thought that was a bit poor at the time. Let's give Leeds a little bit of credit. In the second half, they ran loose. Let's just have a look at a couple of these tries. This next one, not this was a 2-1. This next one, I mean, very reminiscent of what we start the show with every week. The Warrington one against Catalan in the Magic Weekend last year. This is lovely support play. Beautiful try.
I mean, what a pass from Myler.
Yeah, beautiful.
But Blake Austin was unplayable.
Yeah.
Unplayable. Now, if Blake Austin could play like that week in, week out,
he'd be in the NRL, mate.
Yeah, he would be. And I liked Blake Austin when he played for Warrington. I was a little bit disappointed when he left Warrington because I thought he wasn't given him and Widdop weren't the ideal partnership because they both wanted to be the chief playmaker.
Yeah.
And
that offload there from Johnson was beautiful.
A little bit, and if we've got any Leeds fans watching us, he has flattered to deceive.
You look at this again here, mate.
It was phenomenal.
I mean, that there again. I mean, second half, Leeds really did turn on the style. I think most of their second half tries are worldies, real quality on the eye. Albert Goldthorpe, 3 for Austin, 2 for Spotted to it, and Myler only getting 1. I thought that was pretty harsh on Richie Myler. I'd have probably given Myler 2 on the night. I thought he was. I think
he was outstanding, Richie Myler.
He was, mate. He was indeed. So, right, that's it then, Joe. We'll leave that there. Thanks for your honesty. Now, Catalan Dragons took on the Leeds Leopards. This was a blockbuster. We said last week we wanted this on the TV. It didn't disappoint.
Look at that.
What a game. What a game.
Arthur Morg is like, he's a magician.
Yeah, quality, mate.
He's an absolute magician, Arthur Morg.
Yeah, quality, mate. I'm not sure there if he was inside the 10. I have to say, Tyrone May there. He looked offside to me.
Yeah.
I have to, we'll just go back on that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a simple try for Garcia.
Yeah.
But just take this
and
back.
that was only the 5 yards forward. That final pass. But
it was. I mean, but if you look at this here now, look at Tyrone. Oh, I would say he's off.
Yes.
I would say he's off. He's definitely in the 10. For me, I knew rightly say
this final pass is a mile forward.
Yeah, I can't.
Look at that. Come on, ref. Come on, referee. You've got to.
Like I say, the bit I'd done to there, Lee. And I'd say I was listening to this on the radio because I had to listen to this one. And when Catalan went, I think it was 18-0 up before Lee started to fight back. I did have concerns at that point for Lee, but I think it says a lot for Lee because Lamb came out and said he was frustrated after that they'd lost it. I think it might have been 20 actually, 20 points to them, which says a lot, but incredibly proud. It says a lot that, a Leeds team have gone to Catalan 20-0 down, scores 3 tries, I think it was in 11 minutes, and are upset to come away with the loss.
Yeah, that is simple rugby. Why don't more teams just play simple rugby like Lee play? Just play simple rugby. Simple rugby.
I think it's instant replay, albeit a bit further out. Look at that.
Yeah, just simple rugby. It's just what we teach school kids. It's what we teach school kids.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's wonderful to see. And this is no disrespect. It's basic rugby league.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Mate, look at the hands there, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, look at the hands here.
Yeah.
This is, again, how many times we've seen this season? Asiata, Lamb. It's just this is the Chamberlain try, the one after this. So just watch this build up. They've been doing this all season. It's so hard to defend against because they go to the line, so they actually commit defenders. I mean, here it comes into Asiata, now onto Lamb. Look at that. That's just beautiful rugby league.
Isn't it? We've said this before.
It really is. Charlie must be loving it.
Yeah.
We've said this before about Lee. They play with the speed of the ball that they play with. And I think, what didn't help is because Catalan is a very similar team who do that also. To go to Catalan, no matter who you are, it's a really tough do because you don't know what the travel's been like, etc. There was a lot of hype around this for Lee to say, look, can they compete with such a big team on their ground? And they did.
Incredibly well.
But and that's why you see a lot of maybe errors or missed things by the ref because they are going.
Look at that.
I mean, that's Linford Christie. That. I mean, that's like a sprint. I mean, look how quick he gets to top speed.
Yeah.
Boom, he's gone.
Any rugby league coach, professional or otherwise, or amateur, wants to know how to score a try. Watch this game and watch Lee score a try. Yeah, the defence was poor for the Catalan tries.
Yeah.
But just watch the Lee tries. Daryl, put the Lee Catalan game on and look how you can score tries.
They'll be devastated with that last one there, Lee.
Keep kicking the ball in the air on the 6th.
Yeah.
Just put it through hands. It's simple rugby league.
The second Garcia try was a very tired defensive line for that one. But I mean, and again, I think it was Adrian Lamb who said that, if that ball sticks with Gareth O'Brien, he fancied that they have the tackles and they have the tackles to go and, as you rightly say, go and get it won. But
that'd have been in. It was far too quick for him, and I think it was just like you said, he was just tired, wasn't he? That's why he couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what I would say here about both teams: one, Lee are going nowhere. They've got a real chance, I think, in Challenge Cup. At the moment, I can't see how they don't stay in the fight for the Super League in terms of the playoff places. Oh, hello, what's that?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. We've got Gremlins.
A bit cold.
Yeah, it's just got a bit cold. Something's just gone wrong there. We'll get it back. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Lee, I don't think they're going anywhere. I really don't. In terms of Catalan, that was a stern test. McNamara came out and he actually said that that was a real kick up the backside that they perhaps needed because defensively, he said, they're not going to win the comp if they keep defending like that. But yeah. Both teams, I think, come out of this with great credit.
Yeah.
At what point do Catalan start slowing down?
But I don't think they do, mate. I think they've got too much quality, don't you?
Yeah. I do. And I wouldn't be surprised seeing Catalan in the grand final. I really wouldn't.
Well, they've got to be favourite for the Shield. They have to be favourite for the League Leaders Shield. They can't not be for me, mate. They can't not be for me.
The thing is, though, every week though, Lee are now even getting into the conversations of some people of they're going to be at least, you would imagine, in the semis, and potentially they could go to the final.
Well, I was joking with somebody who worked today. What odds will you get on Lee doing the double?
Well, they'd be pretty handsome, I would have thought. In terms of, did we do the Albert goal for?
No.
For the previous game, we'll go back and do that after this then. So this game for 20 minutes, really, really close. Half time, only 8-6 down was Salford, and then Wigan ran riot in the second half. Salford will be bruised by this one, I think. But Wigan, they just don't go anywhere, do they? Farrell again leading from the front. Ryan, I think that was where Briley went off with a HIA. He's going to be missing this week. For him.
That was a yellow card, if ever.
And when you consider, I mean, and this has always been our concern, though, Greg, hasn't it? No Brodie Croft in this one, no Ackers, and then Briley goes after. I think it was about half an hour, or 35 minutes ish, and then Wigan go bang bang on one before half time, and then one straight after half time.
I mean, again, look at that. I mean, it's just simple rugby.
Simple.
Oh, that's
so
a mouthful, though.
two of the four spine players two of the 4 spine players out after 35 minutes, and it took its toll, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, Salford are doing absolutely fantastic this season, but you take out the main players and they're going to struggle, aren't they? They are going to struggle. I don't quite know why that was a scrum to Wigan, but there we go.
There we
There we
go.
go.
And there's Amos Miskey.
Yeah.
There's Miskey again. He doesn't disappoint, Miskey. He knows where the try line is. The boy.
Is that Harry Smith?
Smith
Suddenly
again.
found his range.
Yeah, he's suddenly getting into his kicking groove. Wigan, for me, at the moment, probably most likely to finish second behind Catalan, would we say?
Oh, yeah.
Them performances, when you got Farrell, Marshall, and
Field?
No, I wasn't thinking of that so much.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, I could hear the ticking. I could hear the ticking then, Joel. I was fascinated.
Another Wigan player.
Another Wigan player.
The point I was making was it was nice to see Farrell and Marshall playing quite well together. The link up that they had was pretty extraordinary, because Farrell, he just seems to be at Wigan forever, and he just seems to get better the older he gets.
Well, Liam Farrell has had the first few, maybe 7 or 8 games was a shadow of his former self.
Yes, he was.
And he suddenly kicked in. Liam Farrell is a very, very dangerous player.
This
shows. That's where I see Walters fitting in when he goes, because Farrell is a dangerous player.
I'll good him on. It'll be one of the two.
Yeah, he's magnificently. Has Liam Farrell ever won Man of Steel?
No, he's not.
Albert
Goldthorpe, 3 for O'Neill, 2 for Harry Smith, 1 for Shorrock. Just quickly going back to the Catalan game, Goldthorpe for them, 3 points for Ben Garcia, 2 for Arthur Morgan, 1 for Edwin Ipape. So that's how they went. But yeah, Wigan will be feeling a lot better off the back of that win against Salford. Always a difficult one. And of course, coming into this on the back of 2 defeats to Catalan and to Saints, they'll be feeling good about life off the back of this one. Right. Gentlemen, it's time for Team of the Week. So let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Here it comes, the Team of the Week. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 16. Here we go again. Glastonbury is good, but Super League is better. At number 1, making his debut at fullback for 2023 is Richie Myler. On an evening where he could feel the love for Rob Burrow and his family, Myler, like the Rhinos, are not giving in on their hopes of the playoffs this season. At number 2, on the wing for the second time this season is Darnell McIntosh. He had one of his best days against the Saints with a marvellous reach around on Jack Wellsby, who was waiting for today to happen. But it never came. And number 3, having been in the team almost 2 weeks ago, back is Artur Romano. A performance to make you smile by the Frenchman in this one, with a decisive contribution to the outcome of a hard-fought and entertaining battle with the Lee Leopards. And number 4, for his 4th outing of the season, will be Leeds Northern star Rhys Martin, who piled on the points to secure victory for the Rhinos, 26 to be exact. Huddersfield Giants fans will never be the same again after getting the Martin treatment. And number 5, the Super League's rocket man, top try scorer supreme, he's back for his 5th outing of the campaign. Will he still be standing at the end of the season, or will the sun go down on him? We will have to wait and see. And number 6 is Blake Austin for his first selection since his man of the match performance against the Catalan Dragons. And don't get me wrong, he played some lovely rugby league football in pockets in this one, putting the Rhinos back in contention for a surprise playoff place. And number 7 for his 4th appearance of the season is Jake Clifford. Jake, we just have to praise you, as it was right here, right now against the Saints that you provided your loyal supporters with a wonderful night of rugby league football. And number 8 on debut after asking Wigan to call me for 2024 is Sam Walters. 2 excellent tries as well as a work rate of pure effort and output ensured one way or another he was not going to be denied selection this week. And number 9, well, whilst Lee's guitar gently weeps in the corner after a cruel loss to the Dragons, Edwin Ipape had a great day in the life of his Super League career with another sensational outing. There is no doubt that things are coming together nicely for Edwin in 2023. And number 10, on debut, is Liam Watts, who ensured he left many bruises on the wire front row after this one. He played tough and had a dominating performance in both defence and attack, playing well over 60 minutes too. Congratulations, sir. At number 11, well, if God's a DJ, if he was a rugby league player, he'd be Liam Farrell. Yet again, the veteran second rower will have given many a Salford player and supporter insomnia after this commanding demonstration of leadership at number 12. Sweet Charlemagne for his first appearances on Ray Savelio, who had a 1 in a million performance, ensuring that the black and white fans did indeed experience a paradise city of Hull on Thursday night. At number 13 is Ben Garcia. He's the third highest loose forward selection for 23 behind Smith and Asiata. He is the cornerstone of the Dragons, and on Saturday, when the sun went down in Perpignan, he had delivered yet another performance of class and mastery. Ladies and gentlemen, your team of the week for round number 16.
Yes,
already at round number 16, the team of the week is in the bag. There you go, Greg. I'm sure you're tipping your hat there.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed, mate. There was no Rick Astley plays the Smiths.
No, there wasn't. No, no place for Rick. But yes, every player.
I don't know what's more disturbing: the fact that Rick Astley sang the Smiths, or the fact that I thought it was very good. I'm going to have to sit down and give myself a good seeing to. I think
he stole the show. Did our Newton Willows man? He was outstanding. But yes, a little nod to Glastonbury there this week. But yeah, I mean, for me, I saw a couple of the selections that were put in. I mean, we'd like Arthur Morg, but he was nowhere near Myler, nowhere near. They put Rowan Milnes in. Clifford destroyed Milnes in terms of we're going to, there's some really odd selections week in, week out. And
lazy selections, not odd, lazy selections.
Bizarre, mate. Absolutely bizarre. Joel, what's your thoughts, mate? Would you change any of those?
No, it was quite nice to see a plethora of Hull FC players in there, to be honest with you. And
nice word. I like a plethora, mate.
Is that what you play guitar with?
I just can't play guitar, so I don't know. You tell me.
Anyway,
but no.
Moving on.
I think for me, when you look across that, as you look at those players on that team in a week, probably with the exception of Watts. I mean, I was fortunate enough to see the full 80 minutes of the Warrington game against Castleford. Let me tell you now, Liam Watts was phenomenal, both sides of the ball. He really was.
His defence was exceptional.
And his runs were quality. So, for those who are watching, perhaps not necessarily Liam Watts, but every other face on that page, there'll be some, as you look at them, you'll remember something from this weekend. They were just outstanding this week. Right.
Yes.
I'm not going to say stop the season now. Joel, do you want to say stop the season now?
I'd like to see competition.
That's not the option.
Can I say, can we go back to week 8?
Well, absolutely. Well, look, I mean, it's still a compelling season. The Dragons looking really good. Really, really good. Wolves, I think they're in for Wolves fans. It's going to be nail biting over the next 3 weeks. Can they pick up 2 points in what is 3 really tough games? Time's going to tell on that. Warriors looking better. Leopards, for me, they're just not going anywhere. I really don't. I fear for the Red Devils in terms of their depth of squad. The Robins, I mean, Saints are going to be in the top 6. I'm not bypassing Saints. Saints will be top 6.
Yeah.
I think, personally speaking, it's going to be between Warrington, Salford, Hull KR, and perhaps one of the Rhinos or Hull FC if they go on a bit of a run. But at the moment, I think there's 2 places up for grabs, and the likely contenders will be Warrington, Salford, and Hull KR. What's your thoughts, boys?
Rhinos.
I think Rhinos will come, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, they always do.
What do you think, Joel?
I don't know. After seeing Hull, how they played, if they continue to play like that, I don't see how they wouldn't be in the top 6.
What's interesting for them, mate, is the next two games. So their next two games are Catalan at home and then Hull KR in the derby. I think if they come through them with maximum points, the next two after that are Huddersfield and Wakey.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? You know, if you're going to knock off or take away points from two already top six teams, then you're putting yourself in a good position. But then Leeds are always in a shout because they always do.
Absolutely, mate.
And I think Leeds will finish sixth. I really do.
You think they'll get in there? Yeah, you think
they'll get in there?
They
always do. It's uncanny how they do it every year.
It is.
Can I make a shout though? I honestly think, and I don't know why, I think Saints might not finish in the top six.
That's a big shout. What date is it? What date is it, Greg? What date is it today?
27th of June.
27th of June. Yes, but note in the diary. That's when Joel said it. Joel, if that comes good, my friend, that's got to be worth at least 2 or 3 pints, my friend. That's a big shout. Big shout in the middle of June, that. Fair play to you.
I did get absolutely slated at the beginning of the season when I said Wigan wouldn't finish top. And everyone put Wigan at top.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
Yeah, you did.
And I said they'd finish 4th, maybe 3rd if they're lucky. So, method behind the madness.
Okay, Mystic Meg.
Well,
all right, we're listening. We are listening.
Well, there's still a few weeks to go.
Yeah, and by all accounts, a fireman, a banker, and a joiner will be celebrating too. But that's another story for another.
Yeah,
thinking what you're going on about. Anyway, let's go in. Let's go into the prediction league. This is where look how tight this is, gentlemen.
Look at this!
Look how
I had
tight
a shocker.
that is. Not the best of weeks. Not the best of weeks for you, Greg. Not the best of week for me. I only scored 2. How tight is that? 5 points between Greg and myself. It's still all to play for as we come into round 17, and it kicks off Warrington Wolves taking on the Leeds Rhinos at the wire. The squads have been announced for this one. And I don't know about you. I mean, in terms of Leeds, you'd expect Marler's going to be full back wings, Foster Tua and Handley, Nene McDonald, Martin in the centres, Austin Caesar, Aledzki, Walters or Holroyd as starting props. Bentley will, of course, be there with McDonald and then Cameron Smith, who is a doubt by all accounts. So don't be surprised if Cam Smith isn't in contention. Sam Lazzoni, I thought, was very good as well against Huddersfield. We didn't mention much about
and signed a new contract as well.
Indeed, he has. Jared O'Connor, of course, at hooker. You'd expect then the likes of Lazzoni, Holroyd or Walters, whoever doesn't start, is going to be on the bench. Johnson, he's confirmed that Johnson will stay on the bench. He's not going anywhere. And then perhaps, I don't know, maybe Lewis Roberts, maybe. Greg, I'm going to come to you on this one first. I would really like, I've seen a lot of the reserves in the academy this year, as you know. I would like to see Holroyd and Whitehead. Tom Whitehead in the reserves has been ripping it up. He really has. He's a natural loose forward. Obviously, no Harrison for this one. He's out. For me, you've got to have the likes of Philbin and Cassiano coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to start with Dudson and Vaughan. So rather than doing a patchwork quilt in the back row, I think it's time for Ben Curry to be partnered, probably with Holroyd. And I would love to see him put Tom Whitehead at loose forward, because I've seen enough of that kid to think that, like, in the same way that Conor Renge came on the scene and everybody thought, he's a bit of a player. I think this Tom Whitehead has got something about him, and I'd love to see him have a shot. And
I think Thewlis to fullback. Yeah. And I would partner Dufty and Drinkwater in the halves.
And bang Matautia back into the centre. I agree.
Well, I'd bang Matautia back to Castleford, to be honest. But
he might put Matautia at loose forward though. He might do exactly what you've just said, but rather than put Matautia into centre, he puts him at loose forward.
Won't have Minikin anywhere near that team.
No. He'll put Matautia in the centre. He'll leave Ratchford and Renchi in the centres and put Matautia at loose.
To be honest, I'd rather start with Joe Philbin at loose, if I'm being really honest with you. But Yeah, I'm just Tom Whitehead, Adam Alroyd, Lucas Green needs not to be 18th man. Lucas Green came on the other week and was awesome. In fact, put Lucas Green at loose forward.
Yeah. Oh, he's a young kid. He played well for again. He was on the score sheet in the reserve game.
And in fact, if I'm being really, really honest, I know this might be controversial, but I might suggest starting Darrell Clark
at
loose forward.
I mean, one thing's for certain. I think one thing's for certain here, and I'll get your prediction in a sec, mate. One thing's for certain, then of course come to you, Joe. One thing's for certain. I think Darrell Powell pretty much knows what team's going to be played for Leeds.
Yeah,
for once, I think Rowan Smith is probably scratching his head as to what is Powell going to do. It could be that, like you say, Duffy's playing at standoff, Fulis at fullback. Duffy could be at fullback. So who knows on that one? Matautia, where's he going to land? Will he give one of these kids a game? There's a lot of question marks over this Warrington starting 17 on Thursday, and that actually could be a benefit to Warrington because, how do you prepare to play a team where you don't know how it's going to land? If Warrington were fully fit, in the same way that Powell can guess what Leeds team is going to start, Rowan Smith could probably guess, if Warrington were fully fit, what Warrington team was going to start. I'm a supporter of Warrington, and I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what Powell's going to do for this game on Thursday. I haven't got a clue.
I think I do.
Yeah.
I think he won't include Holdroyd and Whitehead in the squad.
That'd be a shame. I think this is certainly because Holdroyd's only just come back. It was his first game of reserves.
Thomas as well. There's Luke Thomas there as well. Luke Thomas played well early in the season.
He did, mate, but he's not really been playing too much for the reserves or for the first team. And, Holdroyd's...
he's not a gambler, is he? He's not a gambler.
Holdroyd, for me, it was his first game back in the reserves for Castleford. Of those, Luke Thomas, Holdroyd, and Whitehead, I'd love him to give. I've seen enough of Whitehead in the reserves. I'd love to see how he went in the Super League. Right, mate, you're going to have to call it. I think you've already you sent me. Are you standing by what you sent in case you weren't going to be here tonight?
It hurts me to say this.
Yeah.
It hurts me to say this.
But you will.
But I think Leeds are going to win this by 18 plus. It hurts me. They're on a roll. Blake Austin, if he's fit and if he plays, will absolutely tear us a new one. We're just not firing for whatever reason, and it hurts me to say it. It really does. But I think Leeds are going to absolutely batter us 18 plus. And you know what? I will sacrifice. I would love to be bottom of that prediction round this time next week if I'm wrong. But I think Leeds are just going to be a class apart and beat us by 18 or more.
Fair play, mate.
I can see this being embarrassing, if I'm being honest.
Tell you, if you haven't got your tickets yet,
you can have mine.
I know you've done wonders for the marketing team there, my friend. Right, Joel, the fans forum have gone Leeds 1-8 on this. Gary Schofield, Warrington 18 plus. Where that's come from. Greg, Leeds 18 plus. I'm going Leeds 9-17. I think that's the first time this season I've backed against Warrington.
I think it is me as well.
But no, you've had a couple.
Have I?
You've had a couple. You've had a couple. I'm just saying, facts are facts, my friend. Right, Joel, as a member of the fans forum, what's your thoughts from the outside looking in on this one?
So, just quickly on the squad, if it was up to me, I'd be putting Ratchford back at fullback, his preferred position. You'd then put Matt Duffy in the halves, try it out, and then you've got an option. Then you could maybe try and have Wrench in the halves with him. I know it's not his preferred option, but you put Matautia either in the centre or back in the forwards, and then it opens you up a couple of options. I'm not saying Wrench is the answer, but certainly having Duffy in the halves, I think would be a smart move. Score-wise, I was thinking 1-8 Leeds because Powell's not going to want to relinquish that second spot. And even though I've said Leeds will win, points difference is everything when you're right up there because you can lose second position very quickly.
Well, for the eagle-eyed amongst, you'll also notice that there's no Sangari in that. He's supposedly out for a few weeks as well. He picked up a knock against you guys. So as a Warrington fan, I just genuinely hope Cam Smith isn't playing. Cam Smith has been a sensational form. I think in the same way Asiata for Leeds, he's second man on the ball. He's been in great form all year. Warrington need all the help they can get. And I think if Cam Smith isn't playing, that will be a bonus, I'd have to say. In the chat, surprisingly, it's going a bit all over the place. Ian Judson saying Warrington 9-17. Dawn Bacon, that 8+ for Leeds. Ryan Birch, 9-17 Leeds. Kevin Ogden, wire by 7. So again, real differences of opinion here. Some think Warrington can do it. Others think it's going to be Leeds. It's going to be a fascinating game, that live Thursday night on Sky Sports. Right, we move on to the next one. Wakefield taking on the Salford Red Devils. Wakey unable to back up last week, of course. I have to say, Tanguy Zenon really looking in a stupid business, and he's extended his loan period by another couple of weeks, which is good news for Wakey fans. I also thought that Franco continued to impress. Obviously, he impressed against Leeds the week before, and again had a half-decent game. Luke Gale, of course, we didn't mention when we looked at the highlights, but Luke Gale.
Luke Gale. Was that his first appearance of the season?
First appearance, mate, and a try and assist as well for Luke Gale in this one. Obviously, Salford went into that game with Wigan on a 3-game winning streak. We know Briley's not going to be there. Ackers is not a million miles away, but it's going to be doubtful if he plays in this one. Croft, haven't heard one way or the other if he's going to come back or not for this. So their spine is decimated. So, and we know that actually, let's remind ourselves here, gents. This is a repeat game of round 5 where Wakefield lost by a solitary point, 14-13, in terms of Salford. Gary Schofield has gone Wakey 9-17. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've gone Salford 1-8. I'll be straight, open, and honest on that one. But Greg, are you staying where you were?
I am. Salford 18+.
As is the fans forum saying Salford 18+. Joel, where are you?
Is Fafita out?
Fafita, no, I don't think he's been.
No,
given a
he did.
No, he hasn't been given a ban. He got a fine.
He slagged the referee off and told him it was a cheat and didn't get a ban.
Yeah,
which is incredible. But this is rugby league.
It's rugby league.
You'd expect 10 games, wouldn't you? Anyway.
Yeah. If he'd have put a Primrose and blue shirt on, he'd have been banned for the season.
Yeah. I could see a Wakefield look better.
Could you?
Yeah, Salford's defence were a bit pants, wasn't it, really? Let's be honest. Their attack looked pretty good. I know they only scored 1 try, but the attack was pretty good. It was getting back towards like how Salford like to attack. I think they were just a bit unlucky in some areas. But I'm gonna stick my neck out and say 1-8 Wakey.
Contentious, outstanding stuff. So that's where we are. So with the exception of Joel and Gary Schofield also, and Greg, remember we laughed at Schofield when he said the Wakey beat Leeds.
Yeah, we did, and that's what worries me deeply.
Yeah. And you said at the time, maybe
I'm below Gary Schofield. There's no greater dishonour in life.
And again, the forum, the comments are flying in, and again, it's a seesaw. Ian Judson saying Wakey 9-17, Kevin Ogden Salford by 18+, Dawn 9-17 Salford, Ryan Birch 1-8 Salford, Graham Parrish going Salford, Wakey by 4 said Robert Higson. Good evening, Robert. Tom Jepson Wakefield by 12, and Ian now has changed his mind. He's going Wakefield by 18. Good Lord, Ian.
You can't change your mind.
Put the scotch away, my friend. Deary me, but there you go. Right, okay, we go into the next one. Go on, mate.
Gailey had a really good game.
Who did?
Luke Gale.
Oh yeah,
he did. Yeah, he had a great game.
You did it, mate. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, you can't argue. And I was pleased that obviously Lino is still out. Nice to see Smithy staying in there. I do think he'll probably drop Smith when Lino comes back. But anyway, right, this one. Can Castleford back up? Saints will be crushed. Absolutely crushed. No Siren expected. His hamstring tightened up. If you remember in the whole game, he's expected to be out. Doubts over Morgan Knowles as well. So Roby will play. So Roby and Lusic you would expect to be back for this one. Saints are bruised. can cast back up. No surprises here. 18 plus Schofield Saints. Greg, you went 18 plus Saints standing on.
18 plus Saints, yeah. Castleford have won the cup final, so 18 plus the Saints.
Fans Forum currently tracking 9-17 Saints. Where are you, Joel?
Lussig's back, isn't he?
Yeah.
He will be, yeah.
9-17 Saints.
Yeah, so you're with the Fans Forum on that. I'm going to go 18 plus Saints. It's a
18 plus Saints.
Right, we now come to that wonderful part of the predictions where we announce the game of the week. Here it comes, gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure. Here's the trailer. Game of the week for this round. It had to be, didn't it? The Lee Leopards against Hull KR. This is a fascinating fixture, this one. Of course, great memories for Lee Leopards fans. They, of course, their first win of the season came in round 3 at Craven Park in what was a sensational game of rugby league. And whilst the players may change, this has got everything about it going into the weekend. Real quality. I think on show. Can't wait to watch this one on Friday evening. Obviously, Lee coming back from Catalan, they'll be, like I say, a little bit wounded by that. As for KR, 2 great wins in a row now for KR, the Challenge Cup, and of course that win against Wakefield to back that one up. But certainly the Challenge Cup victory really stood out. This is a tight one. It should be an absolute spectacle, a feast for the eyes. Electrifying rugby league. That's what we're talking about right there. Right, so Gary Schofield, Lee by 18 plus. Fans Forum, Lee by 9-17. Greg, over to you.
Lee 9-17.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although it could very well be a Hull KR victory. But my gut feeling goes Lee 9-17, but I would not be surprised if Hull KR turn it on and win.
Fabulous. Joel?
I can't see anything other than a Lee win. I've got 9-17, but it could be more. They're hungry, and they know Wigan's going to win, so they're going to be chasing third as best they can.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. Well, gentlemen, one not to be missed. Thursday night, 6 o'clock, game of the week preview show. And let me tell you now, because it's already pretty much in the can, I think it's a very astute call by myself and Mr. Nixon, 9-17 lead. If you want to know why that's an astute call, uploaded 6 o'clock, Thursday night, game of the week, an in-depth look at this game, Lee against Hull KR, all the stats, all the facts. Make sure you tune in 6 o'clock on the Fans Forum page and also on our YouTube channel simultaneously. Take your pick. Remember, Fans Forum members on Facebook, join our YouTube channel as well. Tell all your friends about us. Make sure you tune in for that one. Right, the final game on Friday. Woo. Oh dear me! Comes. It's almost over, Joel. Taking on the Huddersfield Giants. And I'll tell you, I'm going to throw straight over to Joel. Everybody, me included, has to go Wigan 18 plus due to the debacle. It's at the DW. It was a debacle against Leeds. Are we wrong? What do you expect Ian Watson to do? Who do you think he might take out the squad? Who do you think he might put in the squad? And what can he possibly do to beat Wigan at the DW? Over to you.
I've got a feeling he's probably going to take Tui out. I don't even think he'll be in the squad. Not in the 17 anyway.
Connor back.
Oh yeah, Connor's back. Oh, if Connor's not back, then man, he's really dicing with his job there. The Giants can't afford to pay the money they're paying for Connor and not play him. They can't. I do see a Wigan 30+ win. I do. But if we're going to respond, out of any team, we have historically known how to beat Wigan, maybe more than some other big clubs. I don't see that changing, and I don't for 1 second think we're going to win for the first time in a very long time. But I think Pricey needs to stay in the squad. I think against Leeds, he was one of the best players. And when I say that, I mean he just stopped some more tries happening, basically. Luke Yates will stay in because he was tackling like crazy. Teofage.
So go on then, Joe. What's your 1 to 17? Let's go. Fullback. Who's fullback?
Will Price has to be. I think.
Right, wingers.
I think you're going to have Bibby on one of the wings, and I'm also going to say we're probably going to have Jermaine on the other wing.
I thought McGilvery played okay. I mean, I'm not going to say anybody played well for Huddersfield, but I thought McGilvery, he's been in and out the squad. I thought he was all right. Bibby at centre, no, needs to go out onto the wing. So fair play. Centres, mate. Does Masters come back to Pat and Nagama?
Masters and Nagama.
Half-back.
Masters has to come back. It's
crazy.
It's no brainer. He has to come back.
To be honest with you, if I had it my way, I'd put Masters in the halves because he's good at offloading. But that's not going to happen. He can't afford to. He's not. So Masters and Nagama in the centres. The halves are going to be Tio and Ollie. I don't see any change there.
Okay.
I really don't. Sorry, no. My apologies. No, I think Connor is going to be fullback. Sorry.
Okay.
And I think they should put Will Price at 9.
So play Pricey at hooker instead of Pete's, but Pete's on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So you're going to put all your flair players on, yeah?
You have to. We massively miss Danny Levi, and the closest person to Danny Levi is Will Price. And I think he could do a really good job at 9. We're going to have probably Chris Hill and either Ollie Wilson or Jack Ashworth starting props.
Yeah.
Get some impact in there. We're obviously going to keep Luke Yates at 13 and McQueen's probably going to be at 12. Though I would like to have seen someone like Jack Bibby be brought back. Or even we could see Leroy back at 12. Yeah.
Well, he's been playing there recently, and what you get with Leroy is you get the heart. I mean, nobody can question the passion of Leroy Cudjoe for Huddersfield. Even you can't. And you saw his body language against Leeds. You just couldn't believe what was going on.
For me, I'd put Leroy at 12. People don't realise just how big that man is. He is a huge lad.
Well, I saw Bibby, mate, in the reserves at Warrington, Jack Bibby, and I thought he was. I questioned his engine. I questioned his fitness because he was blowing against the reserves after 20 minutes. So I don't know that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I question his tank at the minute.
He's not been given game time, so he won't be able to have the tank in there. I think he needs to be seriously contended for the next few weeks.
Someone in the chat here saying Sam Holsall, mate.
Sam Holsall, I'd put him on the wing. I just don't think he's gonna. I just don't see him chancing it this week. But for me,
so Joe, where's Lollahea? Is he injured or is he?
Oh, he's just not playing. No, he's not playing.
He's not playing.
No, I'd have Halsall potentially instead of Bibby on the wing, but I'm only saying Bibby just because he's just a bit more solid and he's obviously a lot more experienced. But for me, Halsall is my actually first choice winger. Anyway,
right, okay.
For me, Joel, you have to find a place for Connor.
Yeah.
It has to be fullback because that's where he was always going to.
Wherever you have to find a place for him, because he can make things happen.
Yeah,
he's a magician. He's a magician.
On the bench, we need people like Seb. One of them, either Matty or Ollie. We just need some big lads in there, really.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, folks. I think the big one there, I can't disagree with him either. Lola Haya, it would not be in Joel's starting lineup. In terms of what the chat has said on this one, nobody really. Oh, actually, Tom Jepson, he's being optimistic. He's going Giants by 8. Kobe McGilvey, no surprise, Giants by 8. But with the exception of those two, everybody, Dawn, Graham, they're all going the way of Wigan and by a decent score. And I'm sorry, but after that performance against Leeds, they probably deserve those type of predictions, to be fair. And then the curtain comes down on round 17.
You've not had my prediction yet, mate.
Sorry, mate, you've already given me. My apologies. Go on, confirm it.
Huddersfield. Now, Wigan
18.
by 18 plus. I'm sorry, Joel. I just can't see you winning it, mate.
I'm with you on that.
Unless they pull a rabbit out of the hat, and nobody will be happy than me. I think Wigan are going to. I think there's going to be 18 plus. I think Watson's going to be looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. Well, Kobe McGilvey, Joel, he's saying that he put Tui at hooker.
Oh, no chance. No,
you're not having that.
No, not at all. He's just not quick enough. I would praise him like crazy last year. He's just not quick enough.
Yeah, he's put too much timber on, mate. He's lost the yard, hasn't he? Right, gentlemen, time's ticking on. Time is ticking on. Hull FC, I mean, this is a belter as well. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't really be bigging this one up. But actually, the way Hull have played the last few weeks and the form of their players, this is, and let's be fair, I mean, both of these two teams had a tough game this week, Saints and Lee respectively. This actually has got the makings of a fine game. It really, really has.
Why is it not on TV?
Exactly. It would be great, wouldn't it, to have this one?
Yeah.
I found it quite interesting that Sky do a deal with Catalan to get Leeds on the telly. I found that quite amusing.
Well,
did you see?
If you're a Leeds fan, you don't need to buy a season ticket. Just sit at home and watch.
Yeah, I'm getting sick to back teeth now just seeing Leeds every single week.
You know what? We're all sick to the back teeth of seeing Leeds on
ridiculous.
TV.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know what's in Sky's head. Why do you think that rugby league fans need to see Leeds every single week? We don't. No disrespect to Leeds fans and no disrespect to Leeds.
No.
But we don't need to see them every week, boys. No. Let's give somebody else a chance.
I know why they're on there, and I've said that to you before, but it don't make it right, does it?
It doesn't make it right.
No.
Right, Schofield's going Hull 18 plus. That's a hell of a vote of confidence from Schofield.
Oh dear, blooming heck.
The fans forum are going Hull 9-17, which is interesting. I'm going Catalan 1-8. I see this close. Where are you going, Greg?
9-17 Catalan.
You're going the way of Cats. And Joe?
I'm going FC 1-8 because I think the Dragons had a bit of the stuffing kicked out of them by Lee. I think they were really tired and they're going to come to Hull with a lot of energy.
Ian Judson makes a really good point. This is actually on the ARSCI, the Our League app, for those who want to pay a $5 and watch it. Albeit, I think the last couple of times the Our League app have streamed Super League games, there's been a problem with the connection, but that's another story. It is there. Yeah. It is there should you need it. Andy and Sue are in the house. Andy and Sue, congratulations on your win against Warrington. Well done, guys. You must have enjoyed that one. And yes, a lot again. I'll FC here. Kobe McGilvey, Hull FC by 16. He's going Tom Jepson, Catalan by 16, Hull by 7, Hull by 18 plus, Hull by 9-17. So many going the way of Hull here, which is quite surprising considering the league table. The vast majority and the fans forum on Facebook have all gone Hull. Most of the fans forum that are watching the show live have contributed to the chat are going Hull. It should be a fascinating game. Should be a fascinating game.
And again, it's one of those that goes either way. We could all predict Hull by 9-17. We could all predict Catalan, it could go either way, and that's how good this league has been this season.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, another hour and a half and probably a bit on top of that has flown by, gentlemen. Joel, really appreciated your company again, mate. We'll get you back on, as you know, as the season progresses. Greg, Brucey, bonus, you're finding the time to
Cheers,
get
mate.
yourself on,
Cheers.
which
Cheers,
is happy days. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, get down to the grounds. Nothing like seeing Super League live. We've got 2 interesting games on Sky coming up for you this weekend. Warrington, Leeds, which way is that one going to go? And then an absolute belter on Friday. I think every neutral will fully enjoy that one on Friday night. As for the NRL, what have you got to look forward to? On Saturday, North Queensland Cowboys take on the West Tigers at 8:30. Then the Brisbane Broncos take on the Dolphins. So the second time those two teams have collided. That should be should be an interesting one, 10:35. And then on Sunday, the Manly Sea Eagles take on the Sydney Roosters at 7:05. So, and of course, the R-League app for the Hull Catalan game. So plenty of Super League and NRL on your screens this weekend. All that's left for me to say is enjoy your rugby league. Greg, Joel, always enjoy your company, boys. I'll let you say
guys.
And then we'll go and finish the show like we always do with the top performers after 16 rounds. Some new faces in this as well. We'll see you next week, 8 o'clock. You can't beat a bit of weekly, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week. Bye for now.
See you later, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you.